Good evening, and welcome to another belligerent episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your boisterous and brilliant host, Voice of Doom. Good evening, everybody. That is a platitude. I'm sorry. I'm not a politician, but good evening is not exactly the sentiment I feel tonight. It's a horrible day, and I have to work hard to master my mind and decide what is worth worrying about and what is worth getting pissed about and what's worth getting angry about or having despair or just wanting to give up. Woke up this morning. I was going to play golf with my buddy, video golf. And my kid left a message on my voicemail, which I never check because I hate phones. It's nothing but bad news. Nothing but people wanting me to pay them something. So I don't look at my phone often, but I saw the voicemail and said, check the cat because the cat was mauled by some wild animal. This is northern Nevada. We're on the foothills of the Sierras. So apparently the cat was injured by probably a fox or a raccoon or something. Now, the cat seemed fine, so I kind of let it go because I would not have time to deal with that. Because when I went outside, my tire was flat. It was not completely flat. It was drivable, but low, so I thought, well, I'll go put air in this tire, even though I already did a few days ago, so I didn't hold up much hope. And I got down there and it didn't take air, so I had to put the donut on. And then I decided I'd play golf anyway. And then my kid helped me and we traded cars because I have to drive a long way to work and I didn't want to drive with a bald donut. It's a little tire that you put on for your spare tire when you get a flat. Just giving you an idea of how crappy the day was. I went to work, people were miserable. And nothing personal if you're watching this and you're a customer. It's just, you have a hard day and it's hard to be friendly and people just act in a very herd-like manner. Either everyone stays away from a restaurant en masse or they all come in masse. I was convinced that we were the only restaurant in northern Nevada tonight because it was just non-stop, and it's like, okay, you're busy, that's good. Well, we're understaffed and we're trying to do our best to give good service. We're damn good workers too, even if most of them are young, but just one of those days. So I figured I'd do another part to what I was talking about previously about mutually assured destruction, the madness. I wanted to delve a little deeper into the nuts and bolts of why we're doomed. Now, I've been talking about mainland China, communist China, and Xi, happiness. And I wanted to expand a bit on their influence and what they're trying to do and what they are doing and what effects it may have. China, as I told you, is able to produce and manufacture, mass-produce goods cheaper than in what used to be the United States. So over the last 2 or 3 decades, they've been shipping tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of barges with goods to the U.S. to sell to us. And I guess they go back empty because we don't sell a whole lot back. But we'll leave that there. It came to the point where China had so much influence with the shipping lanes that they kind of took over the Panama Canal now. You can look it up. You won't find much because Google and all those mainstream internet things always talk about the good things that China's doing, and they never admit that China controls the Panama Canal. Yes, it's owned by Panama. All right, fine. That's just the preamble. Now, Xi decided he was going to start a new Silk Road. This was something that they used during Marco Polo's day. They were caravans going from China carrying tea and silk across to Europe and elsewhere and everywhere else. Okay, he was going to start a new one. He called this thing the Belt Road Initiative. Anybody that doesn't know about that is woefully ignorant. The belt is the belt of an economic belt that Xi wants to install and has been installing since 2013. Railroads and infrastructure to link China with Europe and Africa and the rest of Asia. It's an economic belt. That's what Xi called it. Now, when I think about a belt, I think about something that can be tightened or loosened, something that's tractable, something that you can make bigger and smaller. Road. He wants to build roads. The new Silk Road is the Belt Road Initiative. Now, you will not hear this and you will not read this on the front page of Google or Wikipedia or anyplace else. But if you do a deep dive and look at some of the international news or foreign news, you would realize that they built 4,000 dams on major rivers in China and built 4,000 dams in all the rivers part of this Belt Road Initiative. It all has to do with controlling water, controlling power. They built an infrastructure. They're building a huge infrastructure to control the Eastern Hemisphere. Taiwan is just a stepping stone along the way. And I don't think Taiwan is going to turn into a war or a conflict with weapons, because I already have a feeling that I know how Xi is going to take over Taiwan without firing a shot. Something like the Ausschluss, which happened in 1900 and I believe 39, when Austria decided to vote on becoming part of Germany and they merged. It's going to be the same exact thing. They're going to win over the Taiwanese. Mainland China is going to win them over. And they're going to do it by using a Trojan horse. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I don't want to give Xi any ideas. But the Communist Chinese will be invited by the Taiwanese to come to Taiwan. You watch what happens. If I'm right, I'm the greatest genius of geopolitical history that's ever walked this earth. And if I'm wrong, nobody will see this anyway, so I don't really lose anything. Now, I looked up a lot of this stuff to give you some information, and then I got bored, and I realized I'm not getting paid enough to do this. So I would suggest looking up the Belt Road Initiative on Google and delve into it and see what you come up with. We are not building our infrastructure because we're too busy trying to ascertain whether a certain road is racist or white supremacist, or whether it's some oppressed highway or some oppressed port. So that's going to take a while before we can even start pulling out the shovels, because we have to figure out if it's politically correct or if it's social justice before we fill even one pothole. Why should we fill this pothole on Beverly Drive? Forget that. Let's go do a pothole over on Crenshaw or Florence and Normandy. Okay, that's the way they're going to play it. Let them play it. I will tell you another thing that I should have started from the beginning. That I was going to tie in a lot of different disparate things to explain why we're doomed. The Chinese started a internet platform called Tiktok. Somehow they enticed the youth of America, or what used to be, to communicate with TikTok through TikTok. Now let's not even bother worrying about what information they're gathering. They're gathering information from the idiots on TikTok. No. They're letting the idiots talk to each other, and the idiots are influencing everybody into thinking a certain way, and we have madness. Just because a few TikTokers, want to be called women and they have full beards, don't even try to look like one, but call me a woman. And it's prevalent, it's ubiquitous throughout this platform. The Chinese are allowing what used to be Americans to tear ourselves apart all by ourselves. They don't need to do a damn thing. What they should do is they should send like 100 balloons over all at the same time, and then they can all be shot down, and we'll have F-16, whatever the hell they are, fighters up in the air shooting balloons everywhere. That's going to look real good. What used to be America is going to look real good when we have these fighters shooting down hundreds of balloons. So, TikTok is tearing us apart in a way because it's giving influence to people and it's feeding off itself. And the Chinese, I don't think they care about any information that these idiots have. They don't know anything. What are they going to learn? But let the idiots bounce off each other on this platform and let everybody else watch it and comment on it, and then before you know it, they're fighting to have 6-year-olds choose to walk down to the clinic and have a sex change behind their parents' back because that's their right, and they need to be affirmed. So see how TikTok and the BRI, Belt Road, Panama Canal, China getting stronger and stronger. I'll do another one. I can talk about the other conflict that's coming next time. But I wanted to expand on this China thing because everybody should look it up and see that they have 4,000 dams on all the major rivers. They could shut off all the water in Africa with a valve turn. They can shut off all the power once they built this infrastructure with power plants, 6 major power plants that are going to power all of whatever, Asia. And then China can go ahead and turn off the lights at will. So people better think about that and do your own homework, because I don't know a whole lot. I just thought I'd bring that to your attention and see what comments I get. Probably one from my friend Nick. Alright, I think I said enough. I think that's something for you to chew on and spit it out, because it's gonna get bad. Everyone can tell it's almost over, and a lot of us are kind of looking forward to it because this slow crawl, this slouching toward Gomorrah is getting boring. I want something big to happen. So we'll leave it there and enjoy the night, and I'll talk to you next time.